Welcome to another episode of Source Selection Soundbites. Today we will cover price analysis under the GSA schedules. In FAR 15, price analysis is defined as the process of examining and evaluating a proposed price without evaluating its separate cost elements and proposed profit. FAR 15.4 lists a variety of comparative techniques to determine prices fair and reasonable, such as adequate price competition, comparison with the IGCE, and comparison with the prices of prior sales. FAR 8.4 has a different manner of determining the overall price to be fair and reasonable. The way to determine the prices fair and reasonable in the FAR 8.4 environment is formulaic. The formula for the determination of fair and reasonable price in the GSA environment is a fair unit or job price plus a reasonable level of effort plus a reasonable labor mix equals an overall fair and reasonable price. Supplies offered on the schedule are listed at fixed prices, but services offered on the schedule are priced either at hourly rates or at a fixed price for performance of a specific task, such as installation, maintenance, and repair. In accordance with FAR 8.404d, GSA has already determined the prices of supplies, fixed-price services, and rates for services offered at hourly rates to be fair and reasonable. Therefore, ordering activities are not required to make a separate determination of fair and reasonable in this area. However, even though the GSA has determined prices to be fair and reasonable, the ordering CO is not bound by these determinations. The ordering CO can still determine that the unit and job prices are unreasonable based on current market information. However, ordering COs are not authorized to issue orders against quotes that contain higher unit or job prices. As a result, the CO must always check the unit or job prices offered to ensure prices are at or below the prices authorized in each respondent's GSA schedule contract. The next consideration when making a fair and reasonable determination is the labor mix. The labor mix is the relative balance of different types of workers based on skill level, experience, and job role used within a project to support agency requirements. The available labor mix that may be quoted by each quoter is predetermined by the labor categories authorized on its GSA schedule. The agency must examine the labor mix to ensure the right type of labor is added, no surplus or unneeded labor types are included in the vendor's quotation, and analyzing whether the labor categories proffered are too senior for the role it will play in meeting the requirements in the PWS. Even when the agency dictates the labor mix, the agency must also evaluate the suitability of the GSA labor categories offered to support PWS requirements. This includes an examination of whether the functional characteristics in the labor category and its education and experience align with PWS requirements. The level of effort is another aspect of a quotation the CO must examine before making a fair and reasonable determination. The level of effort is the amount of time and resources needed to complete a project's task. In terms of service contracting, it's the amount of hours per labor category needed to successfully complete agency requirements. If the agency dictates the level of effort in its solicitation, this analysis is very simple. If the respondent complied with agency dictates, its level of effort is fair and reasonable. On the other hand, if industry is allowed to submit its own custom solution, the agency must examine the solution and determine if the level of effort is reasonable given the chosen method of performance. In this episode of Source Selection Soundbites, we discuss the formula for determining overall price to be fair and reasonable in the GSA schedule environment and the things the CO must evaluate to make that determination. This concludes today's Source Selection Soundbite. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any new material. If you want more details on the subject, they are available on the Source Selection Answer app. It contains lectures, quizzes, court cases, sample documents, and more material that allow practitioners to quickly obtain actionable knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you next time.